What up, everyone? So we've got a special video today. This is going in the collecting advice video category, but you know, I'm not totally sure it belongs there. I just didn't really know where else to put it. It kind of is collecting advice. It's more just informational, but it could be seen as that way. But then again, all my videos could technically be seen as that. But it's basically, this video is going to be on the loyal subjects and their Super Double Diamond Club. And for those of you who don't know what that is, I'll explain that in a second. And the reason I wanted to do this is because it's something that came out, and it's not something that a lot of people know about. I only knew about it because I was such a big fan of the loyal subjects, but they give very little information on it. And I wanted to wait. It's an annual membership, and it's basically you sign up for it, you pay a certain amount, and they send you stuff throughout the year. Exclusive stuff that you can only get through the club. And I was really excited about it, but it was a lot of money to risk, and they really tell you barely anything. They tell you some things you're going to get, but that's it. All you get is some titles, and you really don't know. And I was going to wait until a year passed and I had all the stuff and do one big review of it so people knew about it, and if they wanted to sign up they could, because that's kind of what I wish I had before I signed up for it. So over years past, it's been almost 2 years, it's probably been like a year and a half, something like that, and they still haven't given all the stuff that's promised. They've probably only given about half of what they said they would, so they're super behind on it, and I really just don't want to wait anymore. So if anyone's thinking about signing up, you can watch this video and decide for yourself. So it's kind of a review of the club. We're going to talk about the loyal subjects and the company and their collectibles, and just some advice on like memberships and things like that, things to look out for, things to go for, so on and so forth. So this one in specific is it's called SDDC, the Super Double Diamond Club. It's a mouthful, and essentially I'll show a picture right now, and this is all the information we had. We had this picture, and they said all the things that were in here. And what you do is you pay, it's $200, and then you have to pay for shipping in advance. So after all is said and done, it's about $250 for the whole thing if you're in America. If you're outside the US, it's a little bit more. And they promise all these things, and it's mostly exclusive figures. And the cool thing about it was this was released a year and a half ago, so they were essentially announcing all these things they hadn't announced yet, which was the Street Fighter series, the Dragon Ball Z series, Alien and Predator, and I think they also have Freddy and Jason licenses, and I know they also had done Mega Man. They're not included in this one, but they have a lot of really good licenses. They pick really good franchises. But as a lot of you know, that company has kind of gone in a different direction. I used to love the company. I was such a huge fan of the loyal subjects because they were really into like their fans. They were really into pleasing the fans, and they were really into like good quality, and they were really into the art and design of things, which is things I really appreciate. The company got started with a guy named Joe Ledbetter. He's a really famous artist, a guy I really like, and they produced all of his stuff pretty exclusively, which was a bunch of vinyl figures, which back then was the thing to do. Like Kid Robot, they always get artists to design stuff, and it was always these like really nice vinyl sculptures, which is what I really liked. So when I heard that the Loyal Subjects was getting into like licensing and producing like Ninja Turtles and stuff, I got really excited. And when those series came out, they were really cool. And you see them behind me, I got a lot of the Turtles ones. They were very detailed. They had a lot of... Something in my freaking eye. Keep bugging me. So the figures were very detailed. They had a lot of stuff to them. They had a lot of accessories, a lot of little tiny things, and they showed a lot of detail, and it was really amazing. They had done something that no other blind box company had really done before, and that was put so much detail into things, and they had a lot of articulation. So kids liked them too because they were fun to play with. So I really appreciated them. But you guys saw my recent review of like the Dragon Ball series. They've kind of gone a different direction, and people that were designers for the company, like Joe Allard, that I knew personally, he designed all their stuff, and he had either he left the company or got fired. I'm not sure which one it was. I'm sure it's a little of both. But since he left the company, the designs got kind of weird. And if you go and watch my Dragon Ball review, all their figures look very similar now, and they all look very odd, in the sense that they all look like gorillas. And you can see, and I'll show you the figures in a minute, but especially the Dragon Ball ones, those ones specifically, everyone looked like gorillas because they had gigantic arms. Arms that reached, even when they're in fists, reached all the way down to their feet, and then tiny little bodies, and then big heads. Which is so weird. It's such an odd shape to have with giant arms, and I just really didn't like the shape of them. And they haven't been doing accessories as much, or at least not to the extent they did the Ninja Turtles ones. They had so much detail in them, and they've been doing it less and less. So the company's been going the same direction all companies do. They start out small, they start out appreciating their customers and really going for quality, but as any company does, they get bigger, they get more popular, they get more money, and then they get money hungry. So they start cutting corners here and there to save dollars and make more money because the company is growing. And it's the same thing that always happened. It happened with Funko, it happened with Kid Robot. Every company goes the same direction because at the end of the day, these companies are here to make money. That's what they're there for. I know people like to believe differently, but it's always wrong. They will choose money over you every time. People are so shocked by this, but that's the business world. If they have the chance to make more money and just take a little bit of quality down, they will. And that's essentially what they have been doing. But anyway, I was so excited about this because they had, in a sense, now I'll go into detail what this club is more specifically. So you pay the $250 for, it was supposed to be an annual subscription. It was supposed to be 1 year, and everything on that picture, on that list, was supposed to be given to you within that year. And when the year was over, you have the first, if you were already a member, you have the opportunity to renew it for another $250. And these, they would send you exclusive figures you only get in the club. Each figure that comes out comes in 3, they call them colorways, but they're essentially just 3 different colors. 2 of them would be common, so they split it up. There's only 1,000 members in this group. There's only can ever be 1,000 members. So each figure, there's only a limited release of 1,000 of them. And they split it up, I think it was like around 400 of 2 common colors, and then a 3rd rare color, which was around 100 of them are made. So that's the thing that was cool about it. Only so many were made, and you're guaranteed these figures if you signed up for the club. So it sounded really cool because loyal subject stuff is really expensive, as you know. Blind boxes are $13 and $14 for just a blind box. And their carded stuff is usually like $20, $30 because they were really high in quality. So it seemed definitely worth the money, but I didn't really know what to expect. But I thought you really can't go wrong with these franchises, especially with exclusive figures. So that's originally what I thought, but I've been more than disappointed with this whole club since day one. First of all, like I said, it's been over a year and a half, and we've probably only gotten half the things on this list, so that's 1. It's going to end up being 2, maybe even 3 years by the time we get all this stuff, and they're constantly behind. This company's always shipping things and making things late. There are people that are still waiting on their Black Friday orders because they're so behind on everything. And I think they're just growing at a rate they can't handle, and quality is beginning to suffer because of it. And it's really a shame because I love the franchises. Like I said, everyone knows I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan, was horribly disappointed in the series. I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, was horribly disappointed in that series for the same reason, because they all look like monkeys. And they just look really awkward, and things weren't done well. The paint jobs are starting to suffer. So, on to the figures of what we saw. Now, I thought they said exclusive figures. I figured it would be exclusive paint jobs. But, you know, sometimes that's good and sometimes it's bad. With most of the characters out there, with any franchise, there's always alternate colors for each character. Like Dragon Ball. Goku's got a million different colors that he's been throughout the years. So it would have been pretty easy to do, so I kind of placed my money on it and thought it would be a good idea. But what we saw has been the same reoccurring theme, and essentially what it's been is just clear figures that are different shades. Here's Goku, and it came in 3 colors. It was either black, orange, or clear. And then we also got Snake Eyes, and this one came in black, white, and I think the other one was blue, I want to say. Can't remember. And then here's our Masters of the Universe Skeletor, and this one was, I think, purple, and then blue and white. I can't remember the exact colors, but like I said, 2 of them are always common colors, and the rare one's usually the clear one. And essentially all it is, they're clear versions of the figure, they're just tinted different colors. So, then that's all it's been. And I just got the Street Fighter one that showed up today, and well, what do you know, the exact same thing. It's cool that they're carded and all, and they're not in a blind box, so that's kind of cool, but they're just clear versions of it. And I've always hated it when companies do that. Instead of going through the trouble of actually repainting Ken, one of his alternate colors, or Goku, they just make him a solid color. And a lot of series do that where they'll make a solid gold one, or silver, or they'll just do clear, or like black, or something like that. And it's just so lazy. If I wanted one of my figures to be solid gold, I'd just spray paint it myself. Why am I paying you extra to give me less of a paint job? Like, what? It just seems like laziness upon the company. And they've been doing that in some of their series too, where they have a solid gold one, or some of their alternate colors are like that, and it's so disappointing. Because honestly, I thought with Goku for sure, it wouldn't have been that much work. They had the regular Goku figure, right, from the series. I thought for sure that the exclusive one was going to be Goku, his God version, with the red hair. Everything's exactly the same, his hair's just a different color, and his pupils are different. It goes from black to red. It would have been super simple to just change that one color and then release it, and people would have loved that. But instead, we got these clear versions of them, and it just is so disappointing that there's no detail or effort or thought or design at all put into any of them. And I understand that it costs a lot of money to do those things, to make a different paint job, and I'm sure they want to save those alternate paint jobs for like a Series 2 or something, because this company's known for milking their series. Like Series 1 of Ninja Turtles had so many alternate paint jobs. They did the regular ones, and they did all the Comic-Con exclusive ones, and they did the metallic ones. So there was a million different paint jobs. So that's where I'm saying they didn't want to give the nice stuff to the people that are loyal members. They want to sell the good colors, and that's where it's kind of shitty. And I understand why it costs more money, but I thought that was the whole point of the club. I thought the whole point of the club was to get these exclusive figures that you can only get there, so they'd be sought after. And you know, when the club first started, people were buying these up a lot and paying a lot of money for it. So at first, it seemed worth it. And when we got the first clear figure, I thought, okay, one, no big deal. I think they're just rushing. Maybe they didn't have time, so they put this one out. Now we're up to the 4th series where we just got clear ones, and all of mine are pretty much black. All of them are the exact same shade. I haven't even gotten any variation. So it's just really disappointing in that sense. There's nothing special about it. And I've seen with each series go on, they're getting cheaper and cheaper because people are getting less and less excited for this club, and people are getting less and less interested in the loyal subject. So people aren't collecting full series anymore because it's just too expensive. As you've seen with the Dragon Ball series, some of the figures are 1 of 72, and they were exclusive to Walmart or something like that, and they were 14 bucks a piece. So you could end up spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars trying to collect one full series. So I think, like me, most people just gave up on these series because it's too hard to collect the whole thing. So therefore, it brings down the whole collectible market from these distributors. So people aren't paying money for it anymore, and I've seen a lot of these go for really cheap. Cheaper than they would have been if they were just blind boxes. So it's kind of on the decline now. So that's really disappointing. And there's some other things on this list they mentioned in there, and I'll show those off right now. They mentioned a free birthday gift, and what it was, I got a Transformers figure, some socks, and this little card, and it had a Raphael sticker in there. But this card is just made of like cheap construction paper. It's nothing special. So there's that. So that was the birthday gift. They mentioned a free birthday gift. And then we got... Let's see. We get some shirts and some tote bags. So I'll show up the tote bags. So they mentioned, I think, 4 tote bags. And these really aren't that special. They're pretty standard, like you would see, like the ones they kind of give out at Comic-Con. There's a Masters of the Universe one right there. And then I got a Dragon Ball one. And this actually has a picture on it, so it's pretty cool. But it's still, at the end of the day, it's a tote bag. There's nothing special about it. And then they mentioned, how many shirts? 4 shirts, and I've gotten 2 so far. But one of them is just the standard white shirt, and it has the same logo as this card. It basically is just a shirt with that on there. It's still in the package. So that's one of the shirts. So that's kind of lame because the club's not turning out to be so well. And the other one is the Goku one that has the picture on the tote bag. So that one's actually not too bad. A lot of their shirts have decent designs, so I wasn't too upset, but one of them was the double diamond one. So the shirts aren't that bad. They also promised a skate deck, which I'm not sure if we'll ever see, because I was promised one of those once before. I bought one of their Black Friday bags, and they promised a skate deck, and then it just never came. Because I think those are pretty expensive. Those go for like 50 bucks. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that just never showed up. But that'd be cool. I really hope I do get a skate deck, because that's something that they really can't go wrong with that. I'd be super psyched about it. Unless they do a stupid double diamond skate deck. I hope they do one with like Dragon Ball or something like that. I think that would be really cool. So hopefully that comes. And there's more series that are coming too. We also got some posters. Can't remember what it said about posters. It just says collector's poster, but these ones suck too. So here's the poster of Ryu that I got, and it looks retarded. Like, Ryu looks like a meth addict. Like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with him. I don't know who designed this, but it looks really bad. Like, just look at his character design. And that's what I can say about a lot of their figures too. They're just really oddly designed. Like, who did this picture? Why is his face so oddly shapen? It's like a poster, like a dare poster. Like, don't do drugs, kids. You're gonna look like me. Like, it's just really weird and awkward. The other one was a Power Rangers one. This one's a little better because it looks like the art on the box. But again, at the end of the day, it's a poster, so it's no big deal. But yeah, that Ryu poster is just really awkward looking. It just looks really bad. And that's what I can say about a lot of these figures. A lot of the designs on them, they're just very awkwardly designed. So things that are supposed to be coming from this company, we're still expecting an Alien figure, a Predator figure, a Power Rangers and Zord 2-pack, and yeah, I think that's it for the figures. The skate deck, more shirts, and so yeah, we've gotten a little over half of what they promised a year and a half in. So like I said, it could be easily 2 years, maybe 3 years before we see the full fruition of this Double Diamond Club. And honestly, it hasn't sold out. They're only allowing 1,000 members in there, but it hasn't sold out till just recently. It took them over a year to finally sell out all 1,000 memberships of it. And I was actually considering back in the day buying 2 because I was so excited for it, and I thought things were going to sell for a crazy price. But seeing how disappointing these figures are with these clear versions of them, I'm really not excited now. I thought for sure I'd be renewing my membership, and now I don't think so. Because like I said, I love the franchises they picked. Like Alien and Predator, it looks awesome, or sounds awesome. Mega Man sounds awesome. Freddy and Jason sound awesome. But the designs on them are very, very bad. I just haven't been excited for them. And for 14 bucks for a blind box, like, I just don't even want to go through the trouble of trying to collect them. And honestly, most of the figures, if you go look online, they sell for dirt cheap. People were really disappointed in the Dragon Ball series, and I bought like 6 of those figures for like less than $5 a piece, because it's hard to like give those away because they were so terrible. And I think the same thing's happening with a lot of them. I don't know one person that was excited about the Street Fighter one because they look terrible, and I imagine all the other series are going to look just as bad too. So quality is really suffering there, and it's really a shame to see. It's really a shame because they had such potential. They were doing so good. I loved the Turtles series. I thought those were so great. They had such high attention to detail. Their arms were normal size, but for some reason they all made them gorilla mode, and just it looks weird. And you can even see with these figures like Skeletor, it's the same thing. The arms are just so freaking big, it just looks weird. So just like the poster. And yeah, that's pretty much the essentials of the club. So it's still, if you're a huge fan of loyal subjects and these things and you want to keep them all, then it's still kind of worth it. But honestly, I think you'd be better off just buying these individual figures online and waiting for cheap ones. But because at the end of the day, you'll probably end up spending the same amount of money. And the other stuff in there isn't that great. Like the posters, who cares about? The skate deck, if it ever shows up. But the tote bags were dumb. The shirts were okay. And you also get 30% off the Comic-Con stuff, but I wasn't excited for any of it this year because I didn't really like any of the series they released. So I'm just not too happy about it. But I really, really hope, I'm still holding out hope that they will hopefully change something about this, that we're not just going to get more clear figures, that they, at some point, even if they did one, I'd be pretty happy. That's a legit paint job. That's just an alternate paint job. At this point, seeing this, I'd be happy with just a metallic paint job or something like that. It's just, this has no paint. It's just like they took the regular figure and just skipped a step of not painting it and then gave it to us. That's not special about it. So to sum up, I wanted to get the word out there about this club in case anyone's seen these online. If someone's like die-hard trying to collect a full series and want to get these included, there's things you should know. That you can get them online, and they can be expensive depending on which color, but you can find them for pretty cheap as well. So it's just, I wanted to get the info out there and make sure everyone knows if you are a fan of the loyal subjects and you are trying to collect it. But you know, don't let me deter you. I'm not here to sway anyone from it. I'm just, as always, giving my honest opinion about it because that's what I do here. So you guys decide for yourself if it's worth it. $250 for the figures listed, and when they finally do a second round of it, they can't really call it year 2, but when they finally do round 2, it'll probably be the exact same thing it'll probably start with Jason and Freddy, and I'm sure they'll do more turtles and stuff like that, so it'll probably be very similar in that sense. But I'm still hoping that at least once they do an actual paint job, because that would really make it worth it. But in the meantime, let me know what you guys think about it. If this helped anyone out, if you guys have heard of this, what you guys think of the loyal subjects, what you think of their series, let's talk about it in the comments. And I hope this was helpful to you. I hope this was some kind of collecting advice to someone, getting the information out there. In the meantime, thank you all for watching. We'll see you on the next video for more reviews. Love you all. Peace.